Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Tunkhannock Area Tigers wrestling. Joining us are twins, Mike and Billy Manley. They're seniors. You guys are doing a heck of a job this year. Great job. Last weekend at the Wyoming Valley Conference Tournament, AA and AAA wrestlers get together. And let's talk to you first, Mike. You're weighing in around 160 pounds. Tell us about how you're doing this season.
So far we've been doing pretty well. A lot of tough competition, always getting ready for the end of the season.
And let's talk about some of the highlights you've had this year, Mike. Some good wrestling that you've done. There's been the tournament out at Tunkhannock, which is always great. This past tournament, who've been some good competitors of yours and some tough matches that you've had?
At the Kiwanis tournament, I had a tough kid in the finals. That match went into triple overtime. And then just recently at the conference tournament, I had another tough match that went into double overtime.
Let's talk a little bit about your style, Mike. Do all the Tunkhannock guys have the similar style? Do you take on what your coaches taught you to kind of have your own little unique thing?
Yeah, we all have our own little touches. Some of us, for example, like the red leg. Others more just cross wrist tilts and stuff. But overall, we try to be really physical on our feet and push the pace of the match.
Well, talk about the practices. Must be brutal. I mean, between your brother and then Dalton Ray up above you, you guys must beat each other up, so to speak, during practice pretty good, huh?
Yeah, we always got really good partners in the room for live, which really helps us to make progress.
Mike, talk about being a high school wrestler and making weight. Is that something that's easy for you? Is that something that you're constantly battling? Tell us about trying to work that out and have a real life outside of wrestling.
Yeah, it's always tough making weight. It's something that you always got to be aware of. Just being disciplined, tracking calories, knowing how much water you're drinking. First 160 wasn't too bad, but I'm on my way down to 154 now, so that'll be a little bit tougher.
Yeah, it's squeezing a little bit more. That's never too fun. Mike, how about that relationship you have with your brother, Billy? Talk about the friendship you guys have. You hear sometimes as twins, hey, we're best friends. Sometimes you hear, well, we have our differences. We're two different people. Tell us about the relationship you have with Billy.
Yeah, like you said, we have our differences and we're two different people, but due to sport and home life, we end up spending a lot of time together.
And then, Mike, let's talk a little bit about what it's like to be at your house and all the stuff you guys are doing. And you guys are pretty darn good students in the classroom as well. So tell us about, I'm sure there's stressful times when it comes to making sure your studies are good, and during wrestling season, you guys are getting the job done.
Yeah, not a lot of free time to relax, so a lot of getting home late, doing schoolwork, getting up early, getting extra workouts in. But we also have time to relax and have fun while we're at home.
Always good to hear. Let's get over to Billy Manley, who wrestles at 152 pounds. Also a senior, as we mentioned. They're twins. Billy, for you, first up, tell us what it's like being brothers with Mike. I'm sure, as we said, there's some differences. What are some things that you guys either see eye to eye on or have some differences about?
Well, one big difference is that we wrestle completely differently. He's more of a physical wrestler, and I'm more like quick shots and scrambles. So, like, wrestling-wise, we're completely different.
And I'm sure that helps you in practice when one guy's quick and one guy's physical, and you guys kind of changing it up because you don't know who you're going to meet when districts come around or some of these team championships as well.
Yeah, everyone in our room is different. We got guys who could throw, guys like Dalton who hit a lot of double leg. There's a little bit of everything.
Billy, what's it like to have success at Tunkhannock in a sport? It's unfortunately, it's been dry with football. Basketball's been a little tough. There's some decent swimmers. There's some good track and field guys, some good cross-country runners and stuff like that. But I'm sure it helps with a little bit of school spirit to say, hey, we're wrestling pretty darn good, and, we're working for a championship this year.
Yeah, it's been pretty sweet because now that we have the expectation to be good, it's making everybody else individually better, too. and it's just making it a lot more fun now that we're winning more.
Billy, how about for you? We talked to Mike about the weight thing, and a battle for you as well to try to make sure you're cutting and counting the calories and hitting that water.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst part of wrestling. I've been trying to drop down to 147 over time, and it hasn't been easy.
And Billy, let's talk about your coach and your coaching staff there at Tunkhannock. Tell us about how they're pushing you guys and getting the most out of you.
Yeah, they really try to motivate us every day. If they know there's somebody tough that we're going to have or something we need to work on, they'll keep grilling on us about it.
And Billy, you're talking about the next level. I mean, we're about 8 months away or so from the next level for you guys and what you're going to do in your future. Tell us about a school or two that you're interested in and what you may want to study.
I've been looking a lot at Kutztown and Pitt, but as far as what I want to study, I really don't have an idea. I think I'm going to go in undecided.
And is wrestling something that you're thinking about at the next level, or you're not real sure about that either?
Yeah, I'd like to keep doing it. It's a lot of fun.
And let's head back over to Mike Manley here on the John Mendola Show. Mike, for you, how about your choices for college? You have a little bit of a bigger list?
Yeah, some schools I've applied to so far include Drexel, Binghamton, Hofstra, Pitt, and Lehigh.
And for you, Mike, do you talk a lot to Billy about some of these schools? I mean, is that something you think we're going to go to the same school together, or you're kind of saying, hey, maybe it'll be good for both of us to kind of break apart for a few years?
Yeah, it's not something we never planned out going to the same school as each other. It's kind of something that if it happened, it happened. So he knew like what schools I was looking at and visiting, but I don't think that motivated him to want to apply to those schools.
And Mike, you have a couple older brothers, a big family. Let's talk a little about how those guys have influenced you, or some things that you look up to them and what they've told you.
We just have a lot of fun when they're around. My one brother lives in Indiana. He has 2 kids. He's living a pretty good life so far. My other brother lives just down the road, and then my youngest older brother still lives with us.
Well, sounds like a good family bond. How about the folks coming out and checking you guys out when you're on the wrestling mats? Do they get loud, or are they kind of quiet and just kind of take it in?
Yeah, it gets loud. Especially, so these home meets, we've had a lot better of a crowd than we've had in years past. Which is probably because of the success we're having here.
Let's head back over to Billy. Billy, let's talk about something interesting. You know, I remember interviewing a wrestler years ago, and he said, have crimpets before a wrestling match. I don't know too many guys that are eating that before a wrestling match, but do you have some pre-match meals or something that's traditional, or once you make weight, something that you're able to say, okay, I'm glad I'm able to eat that?
Pre-match meals. We always have, it's not our favorite food, but the whole team always has a bunch of bagels afterwards just to get some healthy food. But then once we get to eat whatever I want, the mint chocolate chip ice cream is usually what I go for.
All right. Sounds like you got to have a favorite of something going there. And we're rooting for you guys this year. Obviously, a lot of success with the Tunkhannock Tigers wrestling program. And Mike and Billy, continued success, of course, for you guys individually as well.
Yep. Thank you.
Mike and Billy Manley from the Tunkhannock Area Tigers here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.